So I've been having great fun this week, pretty much exclusively flying the 2024 version of the iFLY 737 MAX8 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and having not really tested it since its release a couple of weeks ago, I've got to say it's performing really nicely. So I thought I'd hop back in today so you guys can check out the flight model and the performance in the new simulator. And we're flying a stunning approach today into Keflavik RW28 in this Iceland Air livery, which does look really great. And we've also got the MK Studios Keflavik scenery installed, which is also superb. You actually get a handcrafted version of Reykjavik Airport 2 all in the same package, which is excellent value. I think I paid £15 on Contrail, which for two sceneries is really good. Okay, so let's hop inside the flight deck and get set up for this approach then. And I'm actually just going to quickly pause the sim while we discuss a couple of bits. Here we go. Okay, so to begin with, it's probably worth pointing out that the current version of the iFLY MAX8 is still an experimental release. It has just been updated to version 1.041, which does address a couple of bug fixes, but there are a few things that still aren't functioning. So in the tablet, the airport maps aren't available yet, so that's where it shows you all the taxiways and stand numbers so you can track your position on the ground. And without that data, the RAS system also won't work, so we don't get that runway information called out, which I do love, so hopefully they can get that all working at some point. And then moving down to the FMC, and I've learnt this one the hard way, do not go to the progress page and scroll across to page 3 because it will crash the sim. I'm not sure why, but trust me on that. As I said, I've learnt that one the hard way. But aside from those couple of bits, it's been a pretty much positive experience in the iFLY. All the systems seem to be working correctly, I suppose that's the main thing. So let's unpause the sim and fly the approach. So we are inbound for our centre fix for runway 28. You can just see my 10-mile fix ring there. So let's wind in 1900 feet, which is our altitude we need to be at to intercept the glide slope. And we will hit level change, and we can see there the plane just starting to descend down. So we can think about reducing the energy in the plane. So we'll go flaps 1. And we will also bug our flap 1 speed, so down to about 193. And we can see if we look at our PFD, our speed's washing off quite nicely now. And let's take a closer look at our nav display. There we are inbound to our centre fix, so let's get our approach mode on. Here we go. And we will go to our next stage of flaps 10, and we'll also bug that flap 10 speed down to around about 170 knots. Should be fine, 172. Here we go. Again, just checking the PFD, the speed's coming down quite nicely.
2,500.
And that's 2,500 feet to go. And the plane's trimming away quite happily. So we're about 10 DME, let's go gear down. Just check out those gear animations. Superb. Love it. Okay, so while the plane continues to trim away, let's go flaps 15, and again we'll match that flap speed and we'll take it down to about 161, and that is our localizer captured. And that just reminds me, I haven't actually added our approach ref for our landing, so we'll go flaps 40, 141 knots plus 5 wind correction, so 146 knots will be our VREF. So we're all looking pretty good on the PFD, so let's go flaps 25. And I'll also add our approach ref of 146 knots now, so we're all ready. So 146 is set. Something I always forget in the Boeings as well, we need to keep our head in bug aligned, so let's wind in our final approach course of 282. Here we go. And we've got about 6 DME to go, and we've got visual on runway 28 right in front of us there. Everything else is looking okay. Let's go to our final stage of flaps and go straight to flaps 40. And our glide slope is captured. Check the PFD there, look, you see the magenta diamond. So let's get CMDB engaged as well, just in case we want to do an auto land. And let's wind in our missed approach altitude of 3,000 feet as well, so that is set. Okay, we're just about to pass over my 5-mile fix, so we are getting there. Let's hop outside and do a bit of sightseeing. Right then, let's ready up for this landing then. So we are geared down 3 green, auto brake is set 2, speed brake is armed, and we are flaps 40. Okay. So autopilot off, and my controls. Let's get it. We've got 2 reds, 2 whites on the pappies.
Check.
Check.
400. Approaching minimums.
Just got a little bit of a sink.
Glide slow.
200.
Just a little correction.
Glide slow.
We're all right.
100. 50.
So looking
40.
to the horizon,
30. 20.
little bit of a float,
10.
and touchdown. Just inside the touchdown zone. And reverse thrust, green. Decel, auto brake is on. And manual braking. So we will vacate next right. And flaps up. And we will vacate just here. Okay guys, welcome to Keflavik. That wasn't too bad. A little bit of an error on the final approach, but we managed to correct it okay. No need to go around, so yeah, pretty happy with that. Right, let's have a little bit of a tidy up before we taxi back to the stand. So we will go, landing lights can go off, runway turn off lights off, let's put the taxi light on, and let's get the APU on as well. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there for today. That concludes my first look at the iFLY 737 MAX8 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and that was update 1.401, and I have to say it performed brilliantly. So I'm going to taxi back to the stand. If you guys did enjoy today's video, do consider giving it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.